Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and thank you for joining me. Today, I would like to talk about beautifully flawed. Beautifully flawed is something that's beautiful, but yet is flawed. And as we walk in our daily walk and have our experiences in life, we have to know that we're not perfect. We're striving to be better and we're flawed. Everyone is flawed. Everything has flaws. Humans have flaws. But the thing about our flaws is we manage our flaws with the resources that God has given us through His grace, His mercy, repentance, and forgiveness. So we can manage our flaws even though we haven't mastered certain things in our lives or we haven't yet got it together with maybe our patience or the way we treat people or how we do things. We acknowledge that. That's what makes flaws beautiful, is when we can acknowledge to God, acknowledge it to ourselves, confess it to people to say, yes, I'm in this walk. I'm trying to be the best person that I can be, but I got a few flaws. That's how we reach out to people. That's how we bring people into the kingdom. If we sit here and say, no, I don't have any flaws, I got it together. Okay, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the kingdom a disservice. Because if that's the case, then you don't need Jesus. No need for you to pray anymore. No need for you to fast anymore. No need for that because you already got it together. We are here and we need God every day. We need Him in His knowledge. We need to keep growing in His knowledge. We can't just get stuck on this thing and not grow. God is bigger than your experience and my experience. It is so much to Him. It is a big thing with Him, and He wants us to follow Him so we can grow. We have flaws, and I don't want us to allow our flaws to stop us from being the best that we can be or go where we could go because of a flaw. A flaw could be your physical look. Like some people will be like, oh my God, I wish I didn't have this. I wasn't like this. I wasn't this tall or this short or this dark or this light, but that's how God made you. But if there are flaws that you can fix, like maybe, your health, your weight, how you spend money or something. Those flaws, they're fixable. But if God created you a certain way, there's beauty in that. So always remember you're beautiful. What somebody else thinks, God thinks that you're beautiful. So you can look at those flaws those types of ways. But we all have a flaw or two or three, or maybe a few. You know, even with Paul had a thorn in his flesh. Whatever the thorn was, he had a flaw, but that flaw does not make you null and void, that you can't be saved with a flaw. You have to think bigger than that. Paul still was effective. He knew what he had to do, but he just had this thorn in his flesh. Whatever it was working on him, and he wanted God to take it away. And God said, no, my grace is sufficient enough. You'll be okay. The things that we did in our lives, I'm not proud of some of the stuff that I did. And that was a flaw through a mistake, a choice that I made, or, whatever happened, that's something that happened to me. I'm flawed because I may not have the background that somebody else had. I may not have the work history that somebody else may have. I may not have the money that somebody else had because, I spent it or what have you, or had the relationship because I did something or they did something. But God takes those experiences and He take the flawed part of it and He turns it around and make it beautiful so that we can extend the olive branch to others. How is someone going to ever know what God can do if we don't show them through our experiences, through our flaws? We have to not be so, oh, I got to present myself as this. Oh my God, I've been saved for 30, 40 years and I sat on the second row for 30 or 40 years. My attendance was great. I paid my tithes and off. It's more than that. It's that plus some more. We have to be honest with ourselves in the wonderful things that God has done and what He is doing in our lives. We have to make sure we represent Jesus right and what he's doing and what he's trying to do. And a flaw could be just misrepresenting him by a thing that you think that is him and is not, because he's bigger than that. He's bigger than us. He's bigger than this whole thing. Um, we have to understand we are great people with flaws. You know, people in high places, they are flawed. People with titles, they're flawed. I don't care how many scriptures you know, how many Bible verses and what you can quote. You're flawed. There's some flaws to you. You know, you may not acknowledge them to people around you, but you have them. But the best part of making your flaws so beautiful is being open and being able to tell people, yeah, I'm flawed, but on this side of life with Christ, it's so much better. On this side right here. Now, some people say they didn't have fun when they was in the world and they did stuff. Now I done did some things. I had fun. I had fun. But the fun that I'm having now, oh my God, this is where it's at. The party is over here. People don't understand. The get with is over here. And you have to come and embrace it. It's not what you think. It was people that were open and they were honest and they made it welcoming. We have to make it welcoming to tell people we're human. And it's an everyday fight and struggle to be the best you can be and to be what God would have you to be. But if we sit here and fake it, people are not going to want to be saved or come to the better side of life because we're lying. We're flawed and we need to show people, yet though I'm flawed, God still got me covered. And I'm still doing the things that I'm supposed to do with his help because he helps me manage my flaws. That I don't go back to the things that flawed me before. I was flawed by that, but I'm made beautiful now that I can manage my flaws. I don't have to go back to those things and I can walk in the beauty of him. God knows our flaws. He knows we need his help each and every day to be what he would have us to be. So as you go through this week, acknowledge your flaws. Acknowledge them. Maybe tell somebody a flaw about yourself that they don't know. It can help them see things differently. It can help them be a better person. You know, it can help you because the more empowered you are about being open and confessing to God and allowing him to use you in that way, makes you stronger, makes you empowered, makes you be able to say, yeah, I got this. I got this. You got this. Whatever you think your flaw is, God can beautify your flaw. You know, like say if you go and you see the shirt that you want and it's a beautiful shirt. But then when you look at it, it's missing a button. But does that take away the beauty of the shirt because one button is missing? No. You either get the shirt, put a button on it, put a brooch on it, or wear it wide open. You can still use it. We can still be used even though we have flaws. We still can be used. If a tree grows crooked and one is straight, all trees are not going to be straight. They're going to have defects, notches, and bumps and all kinds of things going on with them. But it's still a tree. It's still rooted. It's still grounded. It's still there. It's still being nurtured. So we just can't throw ourselves and people away because they may be flawed. So as you go through this week, when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, tell yourself you're beautifully flawed. Acknowledge it and allow God to change those things and empower you so that your flaw won't be a hindrance, that you will be able to walk in the beauty of what God has for you. Because we're all flawed, whether we acknowledge it or not. If you don't acknowledge it, someone else sees it. And just because they don't say anything to you, they see your flaw. But I know I'm flawed. And I know that God is still using my flaws to help people like me, like I was, to be better people. Have a great week. And I'll see you next time on Jewel Talk Tuesday. Bye bye.